What if I told you you've been fighting your weed war all wrong? Every year it's the same story. Hours spent hunched over, aching backs, and the feeling that this green army is simply unbeatable. But there is a solution. Today, we're not going to talk about working harder. Instead, we're going to talk about working smarter. I'm going to share 7 ingenious ways to tackle weeds that will save you time and effort. And some of them might truly surprise you. Let's be frank. Weeds aren't just random plants. They are true champions of survival, honed by millions of years of evolution. Their main objective is to quickly seize any available patch of land and exploit all its resources. So, our strategy isn't to engage them in a head-on battle, but to outsmart them. We need to understand their weaknesses and use them against them. Instead of brute force, we'll employ tactics and knowledge. Let's start with the fundamentals. Our first and arguably most crucial method for weed control is mulching. If you truly master this technique, your gardening life will transform forever. I guarantee it. So, what exactly is mulching? Imagine covering your garden soil with a thick, cozy blanket. But this blanket isn't for warmth. It's purely for protection. Its main purpose is to completely block sunlight from reaching the soil surface. And without light, as we all know, not a single weed seed can germinate and begin its unwanted takeover. This is often called the smothering principle. Weed seeds lying dormant in the topsoil simply won't receive the signal to grow, and the few that do manage to sprout will be so weak and leggy that they'll quickly perish before ever reaching the sun. Or you'll be able to pull them out with a single finger just by casually walking past. No more hose, no more backaches. Now for the exciting part. What can you use as mulch? There are tons of options and most of them are completely free. Ideally, freshly mown and slightly dried grass clippings from your lawn work perfectly. Wood chips or bark are excellent choices. You can also use straw, fallen leaves, or even old sawdust. The key is to ensure the layer is thick enough to block out light. But mulching isn't just about weed control. It's a true gift for your garden. Mulch conserves soil moisture, meaning you'll need to water your beds far less frequently. It protects plant roots from overheating in summer and freezing in winter. And organic mulches, as they slowly decompose, transform into valuable humus, enriching and improving your soil structure. How do you do it correctly? It's incredibly simple. First, thoroughly weed the area you want to mulch. Then, lay down a layer of mulch 5 to 10 centimeters thick. Don't skimp. Crucially, don't pile the mulch right up against the stems of your cultivated plants. Leave a small gap for them to breathe. That's it. You've created a barrier that will work for you all season long. Okay, we've got the mulching strategy down. But what if weeds have already popped up in the most inconvenient spots, like between paving stones on your garden path or in asphalt cracks? Prying them out of there is a real pain. But there's a second, almost magical trick up our sleeve. This method might sound a little crazy, but it's incredibly effective for targeted spot treatments. And for it, all you'll need is a kettle of boiling water. Yes, you heard that right. Just plain, freshly boiled water. It's your personal, absolutely free, and eco-friendly herbicide, readily available in every kitchen. How does it work? It's simple. When boiling water hits a plant, it literally scalds its cellular structure. Leaves and stems are instantly damaged and can no longer perform their functions. The plant quickly wilts and dies. It's especially effective on young annual weeds, as their root systems haven't had a chance to grow deep yet, and the hot water can destroy them completely. The process couldn't be simpler. Boil a kettle of water. Carefully, to avoid scalding yourself, approach the problem area and slowly pour a thin stream of the boiling water directly onto the weeds. Try to pour it into the very centre of the plant, ensuring the water hits both the leaves and the crown. You'll see the effect within just a few hours. The weeds will yellow and wilt. Of course, this method has its limitations. It's ideal for pathways, patios, and building foundations. Essentially, any areas where you don't have cultivated plants. You absolutely cannot pour boiling water on garden beds or your lawn, as it will kill everything indiscriminately. Also, for larger weeds with robust root systems like dandelions or quackgrass, multiple treatments might be necessary. But for quick and easy clearing of hard surfaces, it's an absolutely brilliant method. No chemicals, no strenuous effort, just pure physics and hot water. Alright, boiling water is certainly powerful, but what if you're dealing with a large weed invasion and don't want the hassle of repeatedly refilling a kettle? Then let's move on to our third method, a bit of true home alchemy. We're going to brew a concoction that's absolutely safe for you, but deadly for weeds, provided, of course, you use it wisely. This involves a solution made from common household white vinegar. This method is a real game changer for tackling those established weeds brazenly flourishing where they absolutely shouldn't. The recipe is as simple as it is brilliant. To 1 litre, or roughly a quart, of 9% white vinegar, add about half a cup of salt and 1 tablespoon of any liquid soap or dishwashing liquid. How does it work? Acetic acid is a natural contact herbicide. It literally scorches the cell membranes of the leaves, forcing the plant to rapidly lose moisture and wither. The salt boosts this effect, and the soap acts as a sticker or surfactant. It prevents the solution from simply running off the leaves, especially those with a waxy coating, giving the vinegar time to do its work. But here's a vital word of caution. There are some extremely important nuances to consider. First, this is a non-selective weapon. It will obliterate anything green it lands on. Weeds, your prize-winning flowers, or even the edge of your meticulously manicured lawn. Therefore, use it precisely, ideally with a sprayer, on a calm, sunny day. Sunlight, incidentally, will greatly accelerate the burn process. Second, remember, vinegar and salt alter the soil's pH and composition. Pouring this solution on garden beds where you intend to grow crops is a very bad idea, as it could severely damage future yields. That's why the vinegar method is your perfect tool for non-living areas, places where you actively don't want anything to grow. Think walkways, patios, areas along fences, driveways, or spots under your car. These are its ideal domains. In summary, the vinegar solution is a powerful, inexpensive, and quick way to tackle weeds. But remember, you must apply it like a sniper, precisely and thoughtfully, not like an artilleryman indiscriminately shelling wide areas. Now let's move beyond just reacting to problems and instead embrace a true, proactive strategy. This fourth approach is a brilliant tactic. Instead of battling weeds, you simply stop them from appearing in the first place. Keep in mind, nature's golden rule: nature abhors a vacuum. Leave any patch of bare earth, and nature will quickly move in to populate it, most likely with weeds. So, what's the solution? It's simple. Don't give weeds an inch. We'll simply occupy all available ground ourselves, creating impossible competition for light, water, and nutrients. In your vegetable beds, this translates to denser planting. Don't be afraid to plant vegetables and herbs a bit closer together than the seed packet suggests. While your main crops, like tomatoes or peppers, are still small, you can fill the spaces between them with fast-growing plants like lettuce, spinach, or radishes. You'll harvest these quick crops long before your main plants need the space. Meanwhile, the soil will be covered, giving weeds no room to squeeze in. And in flower beds, ground cover plants become your ultimate allies. They are the special ops of weed control. Plants like periwinkle, ajuga, various sedum varieties, or creeping phlox quickly spread to form a dense, living carpet. This carpet is not only incredibly beautiful, but also acts as living mulch. It completely shades the soil, leaving weeds no chance to sprout. Ultimately, you accomplish several goals at once. Your garden or vegetable patch looks lush, vibrant, and meticulously cared for. You spend significantly less time weeding, simply because there's hardly anything to pull. And you create a healthier, more resilient ecosystem where your cultivated plants dominate and weeds are effectively suppressed. This isn't a battle, it's smart garden management. So, we've already mastered the art of creating a living shield. But what if I told you your most powerful ally in the battle against weeds is currently sitting in your garage or is about to be tossed in the recycling bin. This fifth method transforms what you might consider junk into a mighty weapon against those green invaders. All you need is plain cardboard and old newspapers. This technique is often called smothering or no-dig gardening, sometimes even the lazy gardener's bed. And it's truly brilliant in its simplicity. The core idea is to completely block out light from the weeds for an extended period. We're talking not just a day or a week, but an entire growing season. Imagine you have a patch of ground completely overrun with stubborn weeds like quackgrass, and the very thought of digging it all up fills you with dread. Forget the shovel. Instead, simply grab large sheets of cardboard. Appliance boxes are perfect, and lay them directly over the weeds. Overlap them generously, making sure there are no gaps for light to sneak through. No cardboard. Old newspapers folded into 5 to 10 layers will do the trick. Crucially, avoid glossy magazines. Their inks can contain harmful chemicals. Next, you'll want to weigh down and cover this paper sandwich. You can add a layer of compost, grass clippings, topsoil, or even decorative bark. This not only makes the area more aesthetically pleasing, but also accelerates the process. So, what's happening underneath this cover? Total darkness. Deprived of light, the weeds can't photosynthesize. They slowly but surely die off and decompose, transforming into rich organic fertilizer. Earthworms and beneficial microorganisms, meanwhile, are absolutely thrilled with this feast. They actively break down both the cardboard and the weed debris, leaving the soil beneath loose, fertile, and teeming with life. After a few months or by the next growing season, you can either remove any remaining layers or simply cut holes directly into it and plant your seedlings. You'll be left with a clean, ready-to-plant bed, requiring virtually no physical effort on your part. It's the perfect way to reclaim an overgrown area or simply get rid of the most stubborn weed mat you can imagine. Now get ready. Method number 6 might just blow your mind as it goes against everything your grandparents taught you. The best way to deal with weeds isn't to fight them. It's to not wake them up. This approach is based on the no-till or no-dig gardening principle, and it debunks the widespread myth that you must deeply dig or till your garden every spring. Remember how we talked about millions of weed seeds lying dormant in the soil? They can lie there for years, completely harmless, in total darkness. So what wakes them up? Light. And what brings them to the light? That's right, your shovel. Every time you diligently dig or till your garden bed, you're turning over layers of soil, and with each turn, you bring a fresh batch of dormant seeds from deep within to the surface. You're essentially sowing your own garden with weeds, giving them the perfect conditions to sprout. It's like carefully scattering weed seeds yourself, then wondering why they grew so well. The no-till principle suggests doing the exact opposite. Stop digging. Instead, loosen the soil only superficially, to a depth of no more than 5 to 7 centimeters, about between 1 to 3 inches. Hose or hand cultivators are perfect for this. Your goal is to loosen just the top layer for planting, without disturbing the deeper soil horizons where the weed seed bank lies dormant. And trust nature to do all the other work to improve your soil structure. Mulch, which we've already discussed, will attract earthworms. They will become your primary helpers. Worms will create tunnels in the soil, aerate it, enrich it with humus, and they'll do it far better and more efficiently than any shovel ever could. Yes, transitioning to this system might take time, especially with heavy clay soils, but the results are well worth it. You'll preserve your soil structure, protect it from erosion, and most importantly, with each passing year, you'll find fewer and fewer weeds in your garden beds. Not because you heroically pulled them all out, but because you simply stopped waking them up. This is the pinnacle of lazy and smart gardening. And finally, for our 7th and last tip. This isn't so much a method as it is a small but incredibly important trick, rooted in a simple understanding of nature. It won't completely eliminate weeding, but it will make the process significantly easier and more efficient. It all comes down to timing. Picture this. You decide to weed a garden bed on a hot, dry day. The ground is hard as a rock. You pull a weed and it either breaks off, leaving its robust roots stubbornly in the soil, or it rips out a huge clod of precious topsoil, damaging the roots of your cultivated plants nearby. Sound familiar? That's wasted effort, draining your energy and patience. Now picture a different scene. A good, warm rain has fallen, or you thoroughly watered your beds the evening before. The next morning, you step out into the garden. The soil is moist, soft and yielding. You grab the same weed, give a gentle tug, and it slides out of the ground completely, root and all, offering almost no resistance. You feel like a true champion. And that's the whole secret. Weeding after rain, or a thorough watering, is the most effective way to remove weeds, especially those with taproots or deep root systems, like dandelions or thistles. Moist soil easily releases the roots, ensuring you've removed the plant completely, rather than just snapping off the top, which will simply regrow in a week. Naturally, there's a flip side. Avoid weeding in wet conditions if you plan to leave the pulled weeds lying on the garden bed. In moist soil, they can easily reroot themselves. That's why it's best to immediately remove weeds pulled using this wet method to a compost pile or wheelbarrow. Remember this simple rule. Dry soil is for loosening and cutting weeds with a hoe or weed slicer, while moist soil is ideal for hand pulling them out by the root. The same weed can either surrender easily or put up a fierce fight, and it all hinges on your ability to choose the perfect moment. It's not magic, it's just a simple understanding of how nature works. But here's the most crucial, almost shocking fact that changes everything. Most of the weed seeds you're battling are already in your soil. Right now, they can lie dormant there for years, even decades, just waiting for their moment. And that moment arrives when you turn over your garden beds. That's right. Every time you diligently work the soil, hoping to make it better, you, like a well-meaning gardener, bring thousands of dormant weed seeds to the surface, and you give them exactly what they've been waiting for: light and warmth to germinate. It turns out that the long-standing tradition of spring tilling is essentially an open invitation for weeds to a party. All the smart methods we've discussed today, mulching, cardboard, dense planting, work on the very same principle. They create a barrier on the soil surface, preventing those dormant seeds from waking up. You're not battling the symptoms, you're addressing the root cause. Ultimately, weed control isn't about backbreaking labour, it's about a smart and somewhat lazy approach. Stop waking the sleeping beast beneath your feet. Instead, cover it with a blanket of mulch, don't leave it any room to breathe, and only intervene when it's truly easy and effective. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. If you learned something new and useful, please support us with a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more clever tips. Now, a question for you. What less obvious but highly effective weed control methods do you use? Share your secrets in the comments below. Let's help each other make our gardens more beautiful and our lives a little easier.